Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Storytime channel. Today I'm going to read chapter number 45. Oh, teacher, I salute thee. Taken from the book Wise and Otherwise and written by the great Sudha Murty. Now let's go through it. Once upon a time, a teacher was more powerful than a ruler. He loved his students immensely and punished them when they were wrong. They would stay with him for 10 to 12 years, helping him in all his work. He treated them like his own children. When these children grew up, they would remember the teacher and his wife and respect them throughout life. There was an unwritten rule that they had to give back to their teachers a part of their earnings later in life. The teacher felt proud of his students' progress. He never amassed wealth. His wealth was his students. Every teacher used to pray to God that his own students should overtake him in acquiring knowledge. That would be the greatest joy to him. Shishyada Ichcheta Parajayam. The student would be better than the teacher. That system was known as Gurukula. When I was young, we used to participate in district or state level competitions. For this purpose, we used to travel from one hometown to different places. Our teacher used to accompany us. We never stay at hotels. We would take us to his sister's house and our entire team stayed there. Our teacher never gained any profit from the whole exercise, but he thought of us as his own family. His sister would house and feed us without expecting anything. Now, when I look back, I feel that our system was great. There is a very nice story of how students once held their teachers in great esteem. A mighty emperor was asked, "You are powerful emperor, with so much of wealth, a vast kingdom, and a mighty army. Your teacher is poor and does not own even a piece of land. But still, when you meet him, why do you bow down and touch his dusty feet? Why do you sit below him and listen so earnestly? Why don't you summon him to the court?" The emperor smiled and said, "What a fool you are! My teacher is one of the richest men. The land that you talk about can be gained or lost in a war. The might of an emperor lasts only as long as he is young and healthy. The money he has can be kept, spent, looted, or destroyed. In no way is an emperor a great man. Look at the teacher. He has knowledge, and every year he gives it to his students. The more he gives, the more he prospers. Nobody can loot his wisdom or his knowledge. No one can take it away by force or violence. He flourishes every year with more and more knowledge. Is he not a great man? All his students are like his own children, and when children prosper, is not the father wealthy man? This story shows the respect for the teacher and the teacher's great attachment both to knowledge and to his students. That's the reason we Indians place the teacher in the third highest position in the social hierarchy after mother and father. Today, the Gurukula system neither exists nor is it practical. Our government has taken enough pains and invested considerable resources to establish modern education in villages and cities. It has appointed several thousand teachers who have been trained to teach different subjects and the values of life. Their main objective is to produce better citizens for tomorrow. Recently, I was in Orissa on work. In October 1999, there had been a great cyclone in Orissa, which nobody expected. The cyclone uprooted trees, took away roofs, and destroyed buildings. The state also suffers from chronic floods. Every year, many people lose their mud houses, their cattle, and other property. Statistics show that there is a rise in the number of orphans and the physically handicapped and the mentally retarded after every disaster. Orphanages thus become overcrowded. Many a time, parents simply abandon their physically handicapped and mentally retarded children. They consider them an additional burden in their poverty. Due to waterborne diseases in the aftermath of natural disasters, government hospitals' wards fill up with 3 times more patients than they can handle. Doctors, NGOs, and government officials work hard, but the disasters are often too much to handle. No government can repair schools every year. It is Herculean task. So our foundation decided that some of the schools we plan to build near a river should be built at an elevation so that they could also act as a shelter during floods. We involved school teachers in this work and they were very proud to help us because, after all, it was their school. The system worked well with us because of the teachers' participation. I went to inaugurate one of the shelter cum school complexes in an interior part of Orissa. It was early in the morning. The whole atmosphere was quite festive. The teacher who had helped us to build the school had been transferred to a neighboring village, but he still came for the occasion. Before the inauguration, I felt like talking to the students. When I went to one of the classes, I was surprised to see that the classroom was very crowded with students. Most of the children were sitting on the floor. Only a few benches were available. I looked in the next room. It was the same. Outside, a class was being taught in the shade of a neem tree. Clearly, there was a dearth of classrooms. I was there a little earlier than scheduled. The new principal of the school came and met me with apologies. She was middle-aged woman but looked quite fit. She appeared very strict, but looks are often deceptive. She said that she was very busy with the day's function. While talking to her, I saw another structure in one corner of the compound. In front of that building, a sari and a few other wet clothes had been hung out to dry. Having been a teacher, I know that we tend to talk a lot, so I cut her short. Pointing to the sari, I asked who was staying in that building. She was taken aback and fumbled. Oh, that building is a relief shelter. Why is there relief shelter in the school premises? Just like yours, when there is a natural calamity, it serves as a shelter, otherwise, it is a school. What is the natural calamity now? There was a cyclone, but that was 2 years back. Are people still staying here? She changed her tone and said, no, but people affected by the floods are staying there. That was also not true because the floods had receded by that time. The headmistress insisted that we should not waste any more time on this matter because it was getting late for the inauguration. But I was adamant to know who was staying there. She was helpless and accompanied me. It was a good building with several benches inside that had been arranged as a court. There were utensils and trunks. Firewood was piled in the corner, indicating that someone was cooking here. Who lives here? I asked again. She was little irritated but tried not to show it. Some Adivasi students. This is used as their hostel. Again, this was a blatant lie because this was a boys' school while the clothes were all women's clothes. Besides, it didn't look like a dome. When I expressed my opinion, the headmistress said nothing. She then told me this building is not very good. Many of our teachers are very poor and they have to come from a great distance. So I have given them a place to stay temporarily. I didn't believe her. The teachers are paid well and also get a house rent allowances. Why would they stay in the school premises? I could hear a murmur behind me. Young children with eyes wide open were looking at me. Children are the best spokesperson. They tell the truth and won't lie to please anybody. So I called a young boy and asked, Beta, who is staying there? The boy pointed his finger at the headmistress. She bowed her head in shame. I went to her and said, Why did you lie to me? That too 4 times, giving 4 different reasons. If you lie, the children learn from you and do the same. You should be a model to them. You should lead by example. You are a woman, and the essential quality of a woman is compassion. When your students are crowded like animals in the classroom, how can you convert their classroom into your house? It is their building. Can't you just think like a mother? If your child had been in the same class, would you not feel bad? You are also a teacher. Is it not true that the essential quality of teacher is to care and love the students? I am also a teacher. We should worry about our students' benefit, not ours. This is not a business house. This is a training house for the future generation. How could you use their place to save your house rent? Just because these children cannot speak out against this injustice? How can you tolerate their suffering? No government official comes to this God-forsaken place and checks. When these children grow up, how will they remember you? Is this not the land of great teachers? There was no reply. This is the end of the experience. Do you like it? Then share with your friends and subscribe our channel.